Okay, it's Moondoge. I'm back with Lone Nightwolf this time. We are playing. What are we playing?
Dragon Age Inquisition.
And what is Dragon Age Inquisition? For those who may not know.
It's an open world RPG, and it's
Okay.
my obsession.
Okay. So lots of wolf killing already. It looks like
Yeah, my kin,
a fitting way to start this this whole interview out.
right?
I guess what is the world of Inquisition like?
Uh, I'm already stuck. Um, the world of Inquisition is you you start out, you're kind of thrown into chaos. Um, you're thrown into this role that you don't necessarily want, and you have to fix um, uh, the wrongs that someone else has made via um, there's these rifts in the sky that are basically tearing the world apart.
Right, so you basically are running around closing up all these rifts, defeating all the things that are coming out of them, and generally making the world a better place.
Yes, you are called the Herald of Andraste, which is one of the gods, so to speak, of the world. The wife of the god of the world.
Basically, you're Jesus.
Yeah,
Rift Jesus.
Rift Jesus. Yes.
I love it. So what is I guess what's the biggest thing that appeals to you about the series, the Dragon Age series?
Well, I don't. The lore is just so deep, and it's just drawn me in. I don't. It's hard to explain. Like the characters are so rich, and like it's just a beautiful like game in general. I can just look at it.
It is gorgeous. I guess as someone who's dipped into some of it and has played Inquisition all the way through, like I guess I could attest to that. The characters keep you like actually engaged the whole time, and there's a lot of good dialogue that kind of imparts who they are as people, and I think that it really does a good job of keeping you interested. And they're not just like these 2D characters that like two dimensional, or like once you know who they are, that's just it. I feel like it weaves it throughout the entire story. My biggest problem with games is I always fall off of them. I find them to get repetitive or boring, or the story becomes, I can pretty much assume what happens and what's going to happen and how everyone's going to act, and just I lose interest.
Exactly.
I think that's just not true with this game.
It's like the Dragon Age series are the very first games that I've ever beat because they were the only ones to be able to hold my attention. I first came across them a couple years ago when I was still on Tumblr, and I saw that you can romance the characters, these fucking beautiful characters, and I was like, I'm gonna get this game. This is gonna be mine. And
That's fair.
that was my whole like drive behind behind wanting the game.
So Tumblr and fucking is what got you interested, but you stayed for the story.
Yep.
Nice.
And I played them out of order. I
So
played
if you were to like convince someone to play it, would you suggest they do the same?
yes. Because the very first one is a little rough. Um the mechanics of it, not so great to play. Even though it's my very favorite out of all three. Um Inquisition, the one that I'm playing now, is nice and neat and tidy. Um, and it'll draw you in more. And I don't think you'll get too lost with the lore and stuff. So
I always feel like there's like if there's something in a cutscene that's unexplained or that you would need previous knowledge of, either in that cutscene or afterwards, there'd be a dialogue option to explain whatever the thing was, and you're like, okay, so that this is okay. Andraste is some sort of deity, revered deity. Okay, got it. Yeah, like
right.
So I think they do a good job of that as well. Now, granted, I have previous knowledge of the game, but I agree. I don't think it's necessary to get started with Inquisition, and I think that probably is what I would tell everyone too: is to start with Inquisition because it was very user friendly.
It is, yes.
Do you have any other tips? Like if you got somebody, like say you got somebody to start, got them into the game, they started with Inquisition. What's your number one advice you could give them?
I would actually read like the codexes and like everything that comes up. Like, don't skip over everything because it gives you like fun little tidbits and information. Start out. You don't necessarily have to start out on like easy. I would start out on normal. Normal's not too hard. Farm all the herbs and minerals that you can as you go. Very important.
Yes.
You'll make your potions and your bombs and stuff.
Yeah, when you think you've been doing too much of it, you haven't.
No.
When you think you have too many, you don't.
Exactly.
Now, how many times have you yourself beat this game?
Inquisition, I have beaten 3 times. I have several other games that I have started.
Is that just because there's that many different choices to make and things to do, or many different classes? Is that the main reason?
Yes, there's many different romances, many different class options. There's 3 different classes: rogue, warrior, mage, and each one has 3 different options for classes. And there's several different like romance options. So I want to experience. I was gonna say all of it, but there's one romance that I don't want to do. So.
Which one is that?
I don't want to romance Solus.
We won't dig into that now, but I could just say yes, agreed. Now you are working on modding this game, right? This is unmodded what we're playing right now, but you are working on modding the game, right?
I am, yes. I had to uninstall it and reinstall it on a different drive, so I can work on reinstalling all the mods to hopefully get it all fixed.
Now why mod?
I just wanted to. I haven't modded this game yet, so I want to try and make it look pretty. Like, change it and like, because I've beaten it so many times, I want to try and change some stuff up. Like, you can change the way like the characters look. You can change mechanics of the game. You can change like how the world looks. So I just kind of want to go in and see what I can do, because I've experienced so much of it already. I want to have like a different experience.
Yeah, that's fair. So you wouldn't recommend modding for someone who hasn't played it through once yet? They should probably play it through before they do any modding.
Right, I would do vanilla first, and then after you've beaten it once or twice, mod it.
See what you can do. Is it seem hard to get the mods to work? Like, is it kind of challenging thing to do?
I have never used Frosty before, so it's a little challenging for me.
Frosty is a modding.
Yeah,
program.
it is the modding. I wouldn't say the modding. It's one of two modding softwares for Inquisition, and there's VAI mod as well. But Frosty is what I'm using because it's the one that's working right now, I believe.
Nice. It's funny, speaking of, like, we talked about the depth of the characters and stuff earlier. I just, like, when I saw that, it was, oh, Master did it. Like, in my head, it's like, fun bots.
Yeah.
And he's very minor role here. His helps the position mounts or something along those lines. But, like, when I saw him, I was like, oh my god, I love this guy.
Yep.
Incredible how they're able to do that. A character who has,
Yeah.
7 lines of dialogue.
He's a good old man.
For sure.
I love this old dude.
Give me your first horse.
Yeah.
Love it. So, when you stream, I know this is like Dragon Age is your majority of what you stream.
Yep.
But what is your what else do you dive into?
I played some Witcher. I've done some Red Dead Online. Oh god, what else have I played? I think I've streamed a little League of Legends, but that was forever ago. Some Splitgate. Little Halo. I'm a little bit of a variety streamer, but I don't know. Right now it's been Dragon Age. I plan on streaming Final Fantasy 12 eventually. Just I like the RPGs. I love the games that have good glitches in them. You know, like.
No, then I would ask, why not Bethesda? As they are riddled with glitches.
I should. I really should. I have some Bethesda games. I don't know. The Bethesda games just don't really click with me, I guess.
That's fair. They're very open world and not as story driven. Even though there's stories there, they're not strong stories. You kind of have to make your own story out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I guess. I don't know. And I guess I don't know if I saw you streaming those games, it would be a little weird. I know you've got a good variety, but like, I don't know. Like, what would you say your stream's like tone is? What's the vibe?
Horny. I don't know how else to explain it. I thirst over characters in games, and I don't know. It's just real silly. Yeah. I think that's just my overall tone in general as a person. Just thirsting and being horny.
That's a fair assessment, I'd say. Yeah. Especially considering some of your other platforms and things, I guess. Like, this is something I think we should talk about, because you're finding a good mild success with Twitter, which I think is kind of integral for anyone who's starting out streaming to like use as an outlet for spreading information about the stream and communicating with people who watch the stream. So in order to do that, you kind of have to have a following to begin with. Like, what is your deal with Twitter? What did you do to get your following on Twitter?
I horny post. That's literally all I do. I horny post. Awkwardly, mind you. I don't know why people follow me. I post about Dragon Age. It started out strictly for my Tumblr, for my Twitch. And then I somehow managed to dive into the Dragon Age fandom, and
it was all that only posting.
Yeah. And I started gaining following from horny posting, which is bizarre that people are following me for that.
I don't think it's bizarre. I think it's honest and truthful. But that speaks to, it doesn't matter what you are using as a platform. I think that honesty and like just truth and raw personality is important for this kind of thing.
Yeah,
Nobody is going to follow somebody who's fake, and I mean, whether it's horny posting or live posting or telling the truth about political views and things like that, I don't think that that's any different than a horny post.
Yeah.
People want honesty and truth, and they want you to be a real human being, and I think that's what you do on all your platforms. Is you're a real human being. I think that's probably a lot to do with you've attracted other real human beings who appreciate that because you're saying the things that they are thinking. They relate to that. It resonates with them. How else do you make friends in life? Same
Right.
thing. Hey, I also find this sweaty man to be very attractive. We should talk about it sometime,
Right. I've made a lot of like actual friends doing this too, and it's just really funny that like being thirsty on Twitter can bring a bunch of people together like that.
Sure.
And
I think that's okay. So other than Twitter, so you have your Twitter and you have Twitch, and you kind of do stick to your niche and what you like. What you enjoy in life is what you're actually putting out there on the internet.
right.
So, there's things that like you haven't done yet that you want to do. Like, is there any other kind of content you're trying to make, but what else do you have the desire to put out there? Let's see. So you're also quite the writer.
Yeah, actually, I've been wanting to make fan fiction for Game Express. Fan fiction for Dragon Age and other fandoms, and I have a TikTok that I was posting to, but I kind of stopped, and I want to get back to doing that, posting content on here.
It's all about the energy. You have the energy to do it, which I totally understand.
Right. That's another thing. It's because I'm chronically ill, and I have all these chronic illnesses and mental illnesses and stuff that I just don't have the space. Which that's another thing I post on my like social media, and like I'm very open like with my streams and stuff. I feel like it's important to talk about that stuff.
I agree completely. Yeah, a lot of people don't, and they kind of keep that on the back burner, keep it quiet. But I mean, there's nothing shameful about it. I think it's very healthy and helpful to talk about it.
Exactly, because there's, like, a lot of people don't know information. Like, I have fibromyalgia. A lot of people don't really know about it. A lot of people don't have, like, they don't know the full array of, like, symptoms and, like, things that can go with it. And so I like to talk about it, and I like my streams and stuff to be a safe place to talk about any kind of chronic illnesses and mental illnesses and stuff, so people can come in, feel free to talk about that shit. But it's also why my streams are sporadic. I don't have a set schedule. Because I don't know when I'm gonna have a good day or a bad day.
I think you hit the nail on the head when, I think you've extendedly answered the question earlier about what your stream tone and vibe is, and you said horny and funny, but I think that you'd have to include comfortable and accepting as one of those things, because it isn't a place where people can go and just talk about whatever's going on and receive support from. I mean, we are lucky to have very good friends and people who are super willing to kind of openly talk about those things, even though not everyone is that way. It's good to have a community that can, and I think that's kind of the goal.
Yeah. I always try to be there for people, like, when they need it. Even sometimes to my own detriment. But I know what it's like to not have that kind of space or that kind of support. So I always want that to be there for people.
And speaking of that, do you think that kind of is another reason why the rest of the Dragon Age community really well? Like, that's kind of, I think there's a lot of community members there that feel the same way in that,
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of us are chronically ill, queer, chronically in pain, just mentally ill, like people who just need like support and like like we're all like-minded people who like gravitate towards each other anyway. And I think that's why it's so easy for us to form like a community. And I don't know, the games also have like those kind of like tones like in them, which is why we like them so much. Like there's a group, like the mages in this game represent marginalized people, which is why I relate to them so much. I think that's another reason why I was so drawn to these games, is because like they're very political.
Oh yes, very much so. When you talk about the mages, I think that like as you said, they represent the minority in this fantasy setting where they have so much to offer the world, but are completely held back and oppressed in a way that doesn't allow them to share what they could share with the world to improve upon the world that exists in the game. And boy, does that translate super hard to real life.
Oh yeah. These games are just so good. They have their flaws, but like, for the most part, they're just so well written.
Yeah, another game question I'd like to ask is, how you gonna let Sarah rock around on no health for 10 straight minutes? Like, you just hate her, or?
It's not my fault she's not drinking potions.
There we go, I feel better.
She still had half health. She's fine.
I guess, anyone, okay, you've got some string under your belt now, right? I want, and not to give like an umbrella question that has a huge answer, but I guess it does have a huge answer. Like, what do you think? What would you say to somebody who tells you they're wanting to get into the string? What's your big advice for them?
Do it. Just do it. Like, there's no harm in trying. Like, try it out. See. There's no harm in trying it out. Like, see if you like it, and if you don't like it, then no harm, no foul. You don't have to keep doing it. I mean, like, I tried it out just to see if I liked it, and I have over 500 hours now. So,
Been apparently enjoying it.
Just a little bit.
I think that's an important thing, not to put too much into expectations of it. Just do the stream, and if you enjoy doing the stream, keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people can sometimes come in with the mindset of, I'm gonna have all these people watching me play games. I have fun playing games, so sure, these people want to watch me play because I'm having fun, which is just not true. You know, this is, as streamers, we are entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
We're meant to entertain, and we're not doing that. No, you shouldn't watch this, you know? So, I think that's, like you said, it's not always for everyone, but you won't know unless you try it.
My whole thing was, like, I just like company while I'm playing games. So, I was just like, I'll see if I get people in while I'm playing games, and if I don't, I will. You know?
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm gonna play the game no matter what. If I get people in to hang out with me while I do it, then that's great.
Hell yeah. I love that. That's a good one.
But yeah, I still have fun no matter what. People there or not, you know.
Very important.
I mean, especially
in the same way that I said, just because you have fun playing a game and someone wants to watch, it's a requirement. If you don't have fun playing a game, it's not.
exactly.
So while it's not the end all be all, it definitely is a requirement. You have to enjoy it.
Like, these are like the only games that, like, I think I've only had one instance where I got so frustrated that I had to stop playing. And that's in like a whole 3 years of playing them, like, consistently.
Right.
So, I mean, which is impressive for me because games frustrate the fuck out of me. And I don't know, they're just so good. And I've played them on like hard difficulties, which is something I've never done with games before. So it's impressive.
I love that.
No, they feel, when I play these games, they feel like home. They just fill me with so much joy.
Yes, it's your comfort. It's what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game series that makes you feel something. So I'm glad that you get to dive into that and share that with me.
Oh yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sitting down and talking to me today. We are married, so I do see you a lot. So it's
Love
weird
it.
that we get to sit down and actually talk like this and about gaming and things. We don't always dive into this stuff, so it's nice to talk to you about it.
Yeah, of course.
For those who don't know, L0nenightw0lf can be found at twitch.tv/L0nenightw0lf. The O's are zeros, if you want to find her. Or you can find her on Twitter at L0nenightw0lf. Same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's all for today. Appreciate you guys for hanging out and listening with us and having a chat. And thanks again to L0nenightw0lf. Yeah.
Look at his handsome man.
Beautiful. The end.